One really bad day's weather, and that was for the opening ceremony. Apart from that, it's been absolutely glorious all the way through. It's been really gratifying that those stands on the right-hand side, some days they've been full, and when they haven't been full, the fans have merely gone over to the shade beneath those trees in the top of your picture. And the main stand of the Stade de Rhône to the left-hand side. Capacity overall here of around 5,000, and we've seen that well attended across the week. So it's the best attended IPC Athletics World Championships that we've had. Next World Championships in Doha in 2 years' time. Then it's London, the Olympic Stadium, 2017. In between those, the next Paralympic Games in Rio, 2016. And next summer, we've got the European Championships, which are happening. Again, it's somewhere very glamorous, Swansea in Wales. Now, this is the final of the women's 800 meters T52. And this a rerun of yesterday's final, where the front two leaders crashed in the final lap. It was really dramatic. It was Marieke Vervoort and Michelle Stilwell of Canada who were battling. It just looked there. Vervoort was trying to cut inside. Stilwell went over her, and Kerry Morgan went around on the side. Vervoort was later disqualified. It was a protest from Canada. No protest from the United States, because Kerry Morgan came around the side, might see her shortly, and zipped away to win the gold medal. It's disastrous for Vervoort.
Vervoort actually had to be taken to hospital and has received treatment for a shoulder injury, and we're not sure if she's going to be able to take any further part in the competition. She's due to be in some other races, the 400, and it's not sure whether or not the shoulder will keep her out of that.
Well, she is out of this final for this rerun. And Kerry Morgan, who won the gold medal in Christchurch 2 years ago, must feel slightly hard done by, because she won the gold medal here but wasn't presented. Now she has to do it again. There was a real chance Michelle Stilwell was going to take the title against Vervoort, but of course we'll never know. So this is the field of four for the rerun women's 800 meters T52 final. Real drama yesterday. And, well, there was a famous incident something like 50 years ago in horse racing's Grand National, when Devon Lock was about to win, and then took a phantom jump on the line, was well clear and faded away and didn't win. A horse called ESB did instead. So let's bring you the field of four, which was originally five. Marieke Vervoort is in hospital somewhere, won't be competing in this. Yuka Kiyama of Japan goes in lane 3, the season's best set this year. Worth reminding you that the time set yesterday do not count either towards personal best. Cassie Mitchell of the United States originally won bronze yesterday. The original silver medalist who was involved in that crash, it was her lane that Vervoort came out in front of and knocked her down. Michelle Stilwell of Canada, silver in 2011. And when all around her was going to pot, Kerry Morgan kept her head and crossed the finish line first yesterday. She was yesterday's winner. She'll have to do it again to win the gold. She is the reigning world champion. So it is a combined event, incidentally, but they're all T52s in this. Two from the United States, one Japan, one Canada, for this women's 800 meters T52 final. Well, we've been here before. Kiyama of Japan, Mitchell of the USA, Stilwell of Canada, and Kerry Morgan of the United States. And it will be a slow start for them all, but Stilwell of Canada is heading out in front, and she'll be okay as long as no one tries to overtake her today. But Stilwell forcing away into the front very early on, with Morgan just behind her. Both born in 1974, both 39, both turned 39 within the past few weeks. Stilwell out in front. Maybe there was a lesson for her to be learned from yesterday, just to make sure that she'll defend her line. But now Morgan is coming behind her in second, and for Japan it's Kiyama in third, and Mitchell is in fourth. But at the moment it's Michelle Stilwell, and the last time she turned that corner, he was about to have a Belgian run into her from the side. Stilwell second yesterday, and second in the final in 2011. And immediately behind her is the woman who won the gold medal 2 years ago, and who's the reigning world champion. Morgan taking a further inside line. Stilwell looking to have to defend that at the moment as they go down the penultimate final straight. Stillwell will take the bell in first place. Morgan second. It's quite a way back to third place, and really in a stride now in third is Cassie Mitchell. Kiyama back down in fourth place. So Stillwell in front in the final lap. Took the bell at around 1:10. So it's Morgan, the defending champion, who won yesterday, right behind Stillwell at the moment. There's a gap of around 5 meters. But Stillwell, well, she knows what happened yesterday. Maybe there'll be a little bit of extra acceleration before she hits the final bend. No real glance now. There is a glance behind her to see that Morgan is still behind and stalking, but the gap is increasing to around 10 meters, and Stillwell now is really putting the speed on, and perhaps she learned a lot from yesterday's race. Morgan, who's won the last 2 runnings of this final, including yesterday's one, which didn't count, still trying to fight back in second place. A fellow compatriot from the States, Mitchell, is in third, but it's Stillwell who is out in front, and this time she's going to win. It's going to be Canadian gold for Michelle Stillwell. The lead is increasing all the time. She did everything right. Michelle Stillwell takes the gold, and Kerry Morgan is dethroned, and it's a world record. 2:14.9. Morgan is third. Morgan second. Stillwell will be third. And 2:14.79 is the official new world record. First track event of the morning, and Michelle Stillwell, who was involved in that crash yesterday, glory for her today. She takes the gold. Morgan second. Mitchell third, Canada, USA, and the old world record held by Lisa Franks from 2005. Her fellow Canadian, 2:16.71. Well, that's cast aside now. Stillwell, I think a lot of what happened yesterday was still fresh in her mind, and she wanted to make sure there'd be nobody within 10 meters of her, and that's exactly how it was. Good victory. Morgan takes the silver this time, Mitchell the bronze, and Stillwell did very well indeed. So this the result. A world record for Michelle Stillwell, 2:14.79. Morgan still a personal best in second place, 4.5 seconds back, having won the race yesterday, the original final. Mitchell third, Kiyama with a continental record in fourth.
And I think that was a fair result, really, because Stillwell was battling it out in the original race when she was taken out by Vervoort of Belgium, and Kerry Morgan, who actually did come past to take the gold, would have got bronze. If there hadn't been the crash, she ended up getting the silver in here. So we've got some javelin action as well, women's javelin, the F12, F13 category.
Yes, this is an event which was held in London 2012, but isn't always. We've got 2 of the 3 medalists from London here. We don't have the champion, Tanja Dragic of Serbia. Do have the silver and bronze. That's the full lineup. All 5 are here. Anna Sorokina of Russia won the silver, and Natalia Eder of Austria the bronze. That was in London 12 months ago. Stephanie Timmer of the USA, Maria Vidicek of Croatia, and Lu Yating of Chinese Taipei make up the rest of the field. That's Natalia Eder is standing. Stephanie Timmer of the USA, just on the right of shot. The world record in this is 42.51, but the championship record more realistic, 36.74. They've all thrown at least 30 meters apart from Stephanie Timmer, and she'll be hoping that run in this championship final will give her an opportunity of increasing that. So there's a prospect, Anna Sorokina of Russia, silver medalist in London, gold medalist not here. She's got a great chance, potentially a victory. This for athletes of the 2 least impaired visual categories, F12 and F13. It will go to points, as there is an F13 here among the F12s, and that's Lu Yating, and that's the first throw. Stephanie Timmer we saw a few moments ago, 24.03 was a personal best. Sorokina, her first attempt, and that was beyond 30 meters, so she'll take the lead.
Just takes a seat and a breather. We'll have a men's 1500 meters T20 final. As a championship record, it's come up for Anna Sorokina.
Well, that's quite a start for her. 39.23. Flung it out, and she's in the gold medal position already. Now, there are 2 javelin events on this morning. The other is for F54, 55, 56. It's among the wheelchair categories. The championship record is being, that we've just seen, is being marked by the Star Wars music here. It's a really strong field for the other women's javelin final, which is one of the more traditional events that we see year in, year out at Paralympic Games and World Championships. As the week goes on, you do find yourself getting into it more and more. So I was leaving the hotel this morning, and Martina Willing and Marianne Bugenhagen, the 2 colleagues, may well be roommates as well actually, were in reception. They start identifying some of the different athletes a lot better, and Martina Willing is in this field, and she's been winning this event since Barcelona 1992. She's won golds in 92, 96, 2008, bronze in 2012, 11 all-time Paralympic Games medals, silver in Christchurch in 2011, and also in the Winter Paralympic Games at Lillehammer in 94, she won gold in the relay. Hania Aidi of Tunisia is the reigning world champion, silver in the last 2 Paralympic Games. Also in this, Daniela Todorova of Bulgaria won bronze in 2008. Antonelli Situ of South Africa won gold in Athens in 2004. The world record holder is in this as well, Yang Li Wan of China. The wave there was from Maria Bogicheva of Russia. And they're all happy so far.
Certainly are. We always bring you a saying of the day from around the world. Today's is Rien ne sert de courir, il faut partir à temps. It comes from Senegal. It means slowly does it every time, the tortoise and the hare. Now, I'm not sure that's a particularly good saying for athletics, slowly does it every time, and suffice to say that Senegal are not in the top 20 on the medals table. You're watching Paralympic Sport TV with me, Jeremy Nicholas, and Will Downing. I want to mention I'm Jeremy_Nicholas on Twitter. I want to give a shout out to one of your competitors from wherever you're watching us in the world, and we'll give them a mention. Men's 1500 meters T20 final will be coming up shortly. Just getting on the start line. We'll run through those in just a moment. The starters for the men's 1500 meters T20 final, the 20 category. This is for people with intellectual impairment, and a very strong contingent from Poland in the race. 2 fastest times, both for Poles, Peck and Koro. Daniel Peck wearing 8:08, look out for him. Rafael Kork, the other one to look out for. And this is in order of the fastest personal best, so Naziri Bazanjani of Iran, Kristalev of Russia, Steve Morris, Great Britain, Samuel Freitas, the ones to look out for. And the fastest times, personal bests, will be round about 3:55, so 5 seconds under 4 minutes. The slowest personal best in this will be about 5 seconds over 4 minutes, so they range from 3:55 up to 4:05. This is the fastest man in race on paper, at least, Daniel Peck of Poland. Set his personal best this season, 3:55.22. His main threat will come from a fellow Pole, Rafael Kork. His personal best, 3:56.70. Again, set this season, so both Poles bang in form. Payman Naziri Bazanjani of Iran, 3:57.10 his PB. It's Russia's Vyacheslav Kristalev. Steve Morris giving us a shortened version of the Mobot, famous by Mo Farah. Samuel Freitas of Portugal. And that concludes the runners that have gone under 4 minutes. Galini of Ukraine, Andy Carr, Great Britain. Sherbiner of Ukraine. Paiva of Venezuela. 4:02.80, his personal best this season. Cristiano Pereira of Portugal. Michael Murray. Jose Martinez Morote. Alexander Rabanitsky. And completing the field, the Argentinian Jorge Madril. So the ones to look out for really in this race, the two Poles, Peck and Cork, the Iranian Naziri Bazanjani, Krustalev of Russia, Morris of Great Britain and Freitas of Portugal.
Just being told to step back by the judge. This T20 category revived in the last couple of years after being suspended for a decade following Sydney 2000 and a basketball incident. So it's a field of 15. So the men's 1500 metres T20 final is underway. It's a strong field of 15 here, and it includes the gold medalists from London and Christchurch, Payman Naziri Bazanjani of Iran, the silver medalist from London, Daniel Peck of Poland, and his compatriot who won bronze last year, Rafael Cork. It's Peck of Poland, Cork of Poland, Naziri Bazanjani of Iran, Krustaliev of Russia, Morris of Britain, Freitas of Portugal, Galini of the Ukraine, Carr of Britain, Sherbiner of Ukraine, Paiva of Venezuela, Pereira Portugal, Murray USA, Martinez Morote of Spain, Rabanitsky of Russia, and Madril of Argentina. There's no real surprise seeing who's way out in front at the moment. It's a good breakaway by the Argentine, Jorge Madril, and also up there a strong Russian contingent of Rabanitsky and Krustaliev. A couple of Russians in this field, and just on the outside we saw passing Cristiano Pereira of Portugal. 3 3/4 laps of the track, the metric mile, which has replaced the traditional mile in so many meetings around the world. But I know there's a real push on to try and bring the traditional mile back, and a lot of the latest meetings around the world, and maybe it'll succeed. There's still Madril who leads for Argentina. Krustaliev from Russia is moving out on the outside, and now he's being helped by the other Russian, Rabanitsky. And there's a little support coming too. Moving up is Rafael Cork of Poland, wearing 7.99, who won the bronze medal in London. It's getting a really strong, bunched up field as they come round with around 2 1/4 laps to go.
Yeah, Madril of Argentina just leading that first lap. He's the slowest man in the race, and I think maybe he thought he'd like to just see what it is like to be the leader, but he's been overtaken now by the Russian who brings them round. And we're still looking back in the field to see where the two Poles are. They're just biding their time at the moment, but the Russian takes them over the line at the moment.
Yes, it's Krustaliev who leads, it's Cork who's in second place, it's Jorge Madril of Argentina. That's the 1, 2, 3, but also lurking is Payman Naziri Bazanjani, who's the reigning world champion and who won in London last year. Rabanitsky has really fallen off the back, surprisingly so, because it was up in the front just a few moments ago, and we've got 700 metres to go. And taking them out at the moment is Krustaliev for Russia, Cork up there from Poland as well. Peck is now trying to make a move too, and Jorge Madril, we have to admire his front running. He's still in the top 3, and the Venezuelan Luis Arturo Paiva is also made his mark. We've a lap and a half, 600 metres to go.
600 metres to go, and it's the Russian Krustalev who is bringing them round. He's got a personal best of 3:58.83, but both Poles have got much faster times. Peck and Cork, we'd expect them to be coming past. Rabanitsky, who was the other Russian who was leading, he's got the second slowest time, and he's fallen right away now. But it's Krustalev of Poland, of Russia, bringing them round, and he's looking very strong, but he's got a pole on his shoulder waiting to pounce, and that is Cork of Poland. So Cork, will he go at some point here? We shall have to see, but it's still Krustalev of Russia at the moment.
Yeah, Rafael Cork very much staying on his shoulder, won the bronze medal in London 2012. Daniel Peck is trying to recover, he's fallen away in pain, and Naziri Bazanjani, we've not mentioned his name yet, but that's him, 5'8" in the green singlet, and he hits the front. He's the champion for the last two major championships, but now Daniel Peck has got a chance to break up the far side, the other Polish athlete, and here goes Naziri Bazanjani, and just look at that sudden injection of pace. He was nowhere for the first 1,200 metres, and now he's in front, and it's the same battle. That's in London, it's the top two from there. Naziri Bazanjani for Iran, it's Peck for Poland. Naziri Bazanjani's in the lead. Naziri Bazanjani leading Peck. Real battle is for third place, and Naziri Bazanjani's going to get the hat-trick. Gold in Christchurch, gold in London, gold in Lyon. He's the world champion again, and oh my word, Peck was just tying up in the line. Krustaliev takes the bronze medal, so it's gold for Iran again, and Naziri Bazanjani. It's silver for Peck of Poland, and we have a new major international medalist in the revived T20 category. It's Vakoslav Krustaliev of Russia who takes the bronze medal, and had that been a 1,600 metres race or even 1,550, Peck just died on the line completely. Krustaliev was about to overtake, but the real surge from Naziri Bazanjani was so impressive, it was unreal, because he had just bided his time in the field. Nobody had taken any notice of him whatsoever, and then in the final 300 he put the acceleration on. That is a fantastic kick for any 1,500 athlete. 3:57.51, he takes the gold medal, and that is a new continental record for Asia, and the silver for Daniel Peck for Poland. 3:57.51. Krustaliev in third. Good race that was, and Sherbina for the Ukraine took fourth.
Well, what a great win that was from the shortest man in the race. The Iranian bided his time perfectly there to set a new area record and win the title.
Gabriela Szabo used to have a kick like that, and that's why she used to win so many major championships. 3:57.51. Really impressive kick with 300 to go. That was timing. Area record for all of Asia. Now the javelin. It's the women's javelin. It's the F12, F13. And this should be Natalia Eder of Austria, who we've just seen. No change in the 1, 2, 3 in this. Anna Sorokina leads for Russia. And Sorokina it is.
There's three of them in the lead. Anna Sorokina of Russia leading from Natalia Eder. We've got a couple of different classifications. Two javelin events taking place while we've got lots of track action. That's her third throw. She threw 36.74, then a season's best, 37.34, and that one was an improvement, 34.69, so her second throw still her best. The Austrian Natalia Eder, currently in the silver medal position behind Anna Sorokina. There's confirmation of the results at the moment. Lyon of Taipei in bronze as we speak. Now this is the Croatian, currently lying fourth. Again, this is for athletes with a visual impairment. It's a combined category for 12s and 13s. Maria's best throw so far was her opening throw, 30.88. It was the season's best. Her second one was a no throw. And then it'll be Stephanie Timmer to throw next. Yeah, looked a little bit flat. You see, she nearly overbalanced over the line there. Very difficult for these athletes with the visual impairment just to keep behind that line, but she's 30.72.
The flat's not necessarily bad, but if it's the lower tip that comes down, then you've got trouble. That is actually probably the most difficult landing for a judge to measure, because it keeps moving. Normally it sticks down with the front tip, but doesn't always.
So just confirmation of the standings. Sorokina of Russia from Eder of Austria and Lyon of Taipei. In the medal positions, Vidacek of Croatia and Timmer of the United States.
Now let's show you the field for the men's shot put, the F58. And again, this is a wheelchair category where athletes have to be strapped into a chair, and you have a series of throws in a row. Features on the second page the man who realistically they all have to beat. Alexei Ashapadov who's won the last 2 Paralympic Games gold medals in Beijing and London, and who's the reigning world champion as well. Janusz Rakicki won silver in London and in Athens in 2004, and the Pole will be the man who will, you imagine, run him closest. But it's sport, you can never really accurately predict. Cesar Querido of Venezuela is the second thrower in this competition. You get a sequence of 3 throws in this. Fernando del Rosario of Mexico was the first to go, 12:38 his best. That's beyond 10 meters for Querido's opening attempt. And 11:63 is his personal best. So it's the top 8 who will go into the top 3. Ashapatov will be the 10th to throw. And this is one of the events in the T50s, or the F50s, where you do get a chance to respond, because in others, you get 6 throws in a row, and that is your lot. If you don't do it during that time, tough luck.
Coverage coming up here on Paralympic Sport TV of the men's 400 metres T46 semi-finals. It'll be our first chance to see Shane Hudson of Jamaica, and also from Jamaica, David Basco in action.
Now it's the men's 400 metres T46, and seeing our Sri Lankan friend is in this, you can do this, Jeremy.
Thank you very much indeed. He's in lane 3. Ugul Dena Patira. First name's Pradeep.
Pradeep Ugul Dena Pathiranahalak. You can take the caption off now. That's my contribution to this race.
So from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, that's Al Desai. There is Shane Hudson from Jamaica, has a PB of 49.43, the only fastest in the field, along with Ugul Dena Patira, Shippo Baby of South Africa, and Ashida of Japan, personal best 52.89. So this is a T46 category. There's T47 runners in it as well. Tight there on Ashida of Japan. He's out in lane 8. Inside him, Bebe of South Africa, Hudson of Jamaica, Al Desai of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Mvanyi of Rwanda, and Ugul Dena Patira of Sri Lanka. And it is a great start for the South African. The Jamaicans going well as well. As they come around the bend here, Shane Hudson of Jamaica looking very good indeed. Very, very smooth run. This is T46. So he's bringing him round nice and easy. It's the first 3 that will go through in each heat, and the next 2 will advance to the final. Hudson bringing him home very, very easily indeed. The South African's also going to get there alongside the Sri Lankan, and that's pretty much what we expected from the start time. So very, very comfortable win for Shane Hudson. First time we've seen him in this competition, and he has done 49.74. Decent time for him. Ugul Dena Patira of Sri Lanka, very comfortable as well. And the third qualifier will be Shippo Bebe of South Africa. 50.23 for the Sri Lankan, and Bebe of South Africa 51.74, Al Desai 52.63. So Hudson, the only man to go under 50 seconds, 49.74. Shane Hudson of Jamaica will be very happy with that, and he eases up considerably as he comes over the line. The Jamaican, the Sri Lankan, the South African all through very easily in this 400 metres first semi-final for arm amputees. Got David Basco going in the next one, and Gunther Matzinger in action as well. confirmation there of the 3 qualifiers, Hudson Uguldena Patarira and Shepo Bebi, the definite qualifiers. We'll have 2 fastest qualifiers as well go through to the final. And Al Desai will be the favourite of those at the moment. Second semi-final coming up on the track in just a minute. Paralympic Sport TV with me, Jeremy Nicholas, and Will Downing, live from Lyon 2013. We'll keep you up to date with those javelins as well. 2 javelin events at the moment. Well,
they are zipping through the women's javelin at the moment. This is the lady I was referring to, actually. Her and Bugenhagen, they often compete against each other in the same event, but they are stable mates for Germany, and she's been winning gold medals in this since 1992. Martina Willing, she's the second at throw. It's the F54, 55, 56 final. They're all wheelchair athletes, but they are allowed 3 throws at a time, and Willing is in front. 20.75 her best so far. It's done on points, depending on which category you're in. Your throws get converted to points, a la the decathlon. So no real mystery there. 20.75 her first round throw, 20.47 in the second. Elizabeth Gomez of Brazil is in second place, but quite a bit behind.
Loads of great action on the way today. Tatiana McFadden of the USA, she's already won the 200, the 800 and the 5,000 metre titles this week. She goes for her 4th gold today. That's the 1,500 in the T54 category. Also looking to land his 4th world title today is her teammate, just 19-year-old Raymond Martin in the 200 metres T52.
Yes, 20.86, by the way, was best throw so far for Martina Willing. The other women's javelin, by the way, they're absolutely zipping through. There's 5 competitors, so there's only 30 throws in all. And this is our leader, Anna Sorokina of Russia. 39.23 in the opening round, new championship record. Natalia Eder second for Austria, 37.34. And Maria Vidicek is third for Croatia, 31.60. So this round 4. 30 meters is the mark to aim for. And that was, well, pretty much vertical as it tried to break the air, which meant it lost at least 10 meters. Had it been tipped first, then she'd have had a much better chance of perhaps improving upon her championship record, which she set in the opening round, which was 3 meters longer than that of Tanja Dragic of Serbia from the Christchurch Games 2 years ago. But it's a good lead for the Russian here, Sorokina, and it also, by the way, breaks her personal best.
So we've got the wheelchair javelin at one end, the visually impaired javelin at the other end, and now more events on the track.
Second semi-final of the men's 400 meters T46, which features the London 2012 champion. We'll see him in lane 3. Alongside him is Etienne Calderon of Cuba, London 2012 winner Gunther Matzinger of Austria, silver in Christchurch 2 years ago at the last World Championships. In lane 4, Julian Brisento of Venezuela. David Basco of Jamaica is in lane 5. Absent from lane 6 is Emicalo Sousa. Doesn't start, so it's Samuele Gobbi of Italy, who you expect maybe vociferous if he wins. He's the oldest in the field, by the way. Only one born in the 70s, and only by a couple of months. And Elias Ntimalunde of Namibia is in lane 8. 50.07 is personal best set this year. It's the first 3 who qualify, and the next 2 fastest losers. 52.63 is the cut-off time for the fastest losers. Etienne Calderon of Cuba in 2, Matzinger of Austria 3, Briseño Venezuela 4, Basco Jamaica 5, Gobbi Italy 7, and Ntimalunde of Namibia is in lane 8. Top 3 go through to the final of the men's 400 meters T46. And they are away in a decent start by Briseño in 4 and also Basco in 5, but Matzinger in 3, realistically the man to watch, having won in London last year, and he's already overtaking Briseño in the lane alongside, and he's shooting clear. Calderon's also doing well too, which means Briseño is falling way back. Matzinger on the far straight, and also going good is the Jamaican David Basco. This could be a very fast time, maybe between these two, and then the rest are battling for the other automatic spot, but Matzinger in 3 for Austria. Absolutely flying through. His personal best, if he were to match it here, would be a championship record also. And Calderon, who started very poorly, has now recovered very well. Matzinger well in the lead. Calderon alongside in 2nd, and Basco will come through in 3rd. Matzinger will take it, wins it very well in around 49.6. Calderon 2nd, Basco 3rd. And they're the 3 who advance to the final. The 2nd outside his personal best. It's the season's best for him, 49.6, so unofficial. Can't give you the official time because there was a photographer standing in front of the screen where the official times come up very quickly after, but it is confirmed as official. And the London 2012 champion and the World Championship runner-up in Christchurch, very comfortable. Trying to send out a sign. Calderon alongside, 2nd for Cuba. Personal best for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th did well also. They weren't really tested. It can be quite difficult when you're still in your lane to the back straight because you haven't straightened up by that stage. Just trying to glance across and see where everyone is, but Matzinger and Calderon really weren't ever in that much difficulty. Must have been horrible for Briseño in lane 4, seeing 2 people overtake very quickly. Matzinger wins it, 49.6. Calderon 2nd with a personal best. Likewise, Basco. Gobbi goes through as the fastest loser in 4th.
Well done, Gobbi of Italy. I've sent a message down to trackside asking if that cameraman cannot keep putting his camera down in front of the digiboard, because every time there's a time up, he's put his camera down. Instantly, there is another board way to the left if you're ever struggling, someone's standing in front. There's another one up the other end, but it's nice to be able to look where we are.
Now, this is the medal ceremony for the women's club throw. There was a world record in this, and it's one of the events that, for important reasons, goes on for a long, long time. It's the women's club throw, F31, 32, 51. Started at 3:30 yesterday, went on for about 4 hours because the athletes are locked in place in their wheelchair. Then they have 3 throws, some taking a swing, some sitting with their back to the throwing arc and fling it over their shoulder. And that's what Josie Pearson did, actually. Personal best of 14:01, so it worked for her.
Worked very well for her, yeah. Very interesting, different style. We were saying yesterday, like Dick Fosbury with his high jumping. It's just a different technique. Some face front, some face back. She faces the back and throws it over her head very well indeed. The message seems to have got to trackside. They've moved that camera out of the way. We can now see the timings. And I can tell you that it is 10, 15 and 54 seconds here in the morning in France. Silver for Canada, Becky Richter. We might have a run through of the medal table at some point. People enjoyed the disc jockey style top 10 countdown I did yesterday.
Who was that then?
Who were the people that enjoyed it? My wife very much enjoyed it. My mum, my dad.
Médaille d'or et championne du monde, représentant la Tunisie, Maroua Ibrahimi.
And many of my 1,000 followers on Twitter. Ibrahimi, world record in the women's club throw. First medal ceremony of the morning. I know you've missed them.
If you're able, for the national anthem of Tunisia.
Mesdames et messieurs, merci de vous lever si vous le pouvez pour l'hymne national de la Tunisie.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world champion medalists.
Mesdames et messieurs, les
And
médailles
it's
mondiaux.
continuing. What's a very good week for Tunisia, as Mara Ibrahimi receives the gold medal. Crowds are building. They're largely, again, in the shade. It's about 100 or so from a local school and one of the tribunes on the far side, another few hundred under the trees, and crowds are building. Actually, I've just had a little glance behind one of the stands, and there's hundreds more coming in. We're going to concentrate for the next few minutes, by the way, in the final throws of the women's javelin, because this event is taking precisely half an hour to round off. And it's being led by Anna Sorokina of Russia. Her first round throw of 39.23, a new championship record, has her in the lead. Natalia Eder of Austria second. Liu Yating of Chinese Taipei third. And the lady we just saw there, Maria Vidicek of Croatia fourth. 31.43, doesn't improve, and she is narrowly outside the medals. And it's another javelin event for women, the F57, F58, where the medals will be presented now.
We just saw gold there for Tunisia. Tunisia just outside the top 10. They're equal 11th in the table at the moment with Canada. We'll keep you up to date with both these javelin competitions. It's getting very tight in the F12, F13 final. But at the moment it's Russia, Australia and Taipei. It's bronze for the United States of America. Cici Mazik, 818 points in this combined throwing event.
Yes, this was a points category, so there was a nation record behind these from Larissa Volek of Russia, 22.22, even though second and third through 19 meters. But it's down to points now related to your category. Here's Sylvia Grant of Jamaica, 2 centimeters and 1 point better than Mazik, and so she gets the silver medal. And we are suddenly seeing some impressive javelin throwing from the Caribbean on this in the IAAF circuit.
And world champion representing Algeria.
But for Algeria, it was a personal best to win it for Safia Jalal, and she takes the gold for Algeria.
5 golds for Algeria. They're 8th in the table at the moment. 4 for their men, and this one for their women. Very impressive game so far for Algeria, just behind China in the table.
Mesdames et messieurs, merci de vous lever si vous le pouvez pour l'hymne national de l'Algérie.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world champion medalists.
Mesdames et messieurs, les médaillés mondiaux.
So those are the medalists. We'll go back to the women's javelin throw very shortly in the F12, F13 once this is concluded. But I can tell you that Anna Sorokina has won it.
And the celebrations for Anna Sorokina. And her last throw turned out to be her best. She actually proved very well. 39.23 in the first round, a championship record. And a penultimate throw at 39.25. And then in the last round, 39.75. Athletes pose for their own pictures too. This was the 6th round throw of Sorokina. Really lunched it out, probably had a desire to break 40 meters, but it just didn't quite get there. But listen, she's a world champion, it's a championship record. Sorokina improved her personal best 3 times today. So that's another target for her. Maybe the European Championships in Swansea next year, or the next Worlds in Doha. Great victory for her. And Russia gain another gold medal. I think that's their 14th now. Championship record, 39.75. Natalia Eder, second for Austria. And Liu Ya-ting for Chinese Taipei was third.
I think that's the quickest javelin I have ever seen. 5 competitors, 6 throws, and well, they started at about 9:50. It took them about 23 minutes, something like that. Just a little bit longer, no, 33 minutes. So the men's 400 meters, T37. This is the first semi-final. Kobysov of Russia, Brogan of the USA, Onyefrenko. There is Chairman Kobysov, 53.34, his personal best set this season. He will be the man to watch in the race. Brogan of the United States, almost 7 seconds slower, over a minute. This guy's a contender for a medal. Andrei Onyefrenko, 53.52. And always smiling from South Africa, Fanny van der Merwe. 53.20, his personal best. Very strong event for the South Africans. Got Charles de Toy in the other semi-final. World record holder Dria of Ukraine. Kapranov of Russia holds the championship record. So Chairman Kobysov in lane 3 for Russia. Carsten Allen Brogan of the USA in 4. Onyefrenko of Ukraine in 5. And van der Merwe for South Africa in lane 6. And they're all away very nicely. Van der Merwe getting away extremely well. So too is Onyefrenko of the Ukraine. And Onyefrenko of Ukraine comes past Van der Merwe now. Onyefrenko of Ukraine in the blue, leading them down the back straight. And he's pulled up. He's pulled up. He's obviously gone away too fast. Onyefrenko has pulled up. So it's at the moment it's just Van der Merwe, and he's now being overtaken by Kobysov and Brogan. Kobysov leading them away for Russia, and Onyefrenko went absolutely flying there, and he has pulled up. So it's going to be Kobysov of Russia and Brogan of the United States. And Fanny van der Merwe way back for South Africa. You'd expect him to be up a little bit quicker than that. But the Ukrainian out of it, so it's going to be a canter here for Chairman Kobysov of Russia, bringing it home, and they're all slowing right down because the first 3 in each heat qualify, and they've seen somebody come out and they're literally just jogging over the line. They've virtually stopped. Kobysov from Brogan, from van der Merwe of South Africa. It was just a training run at the end, because when the first 3 in each heat go through and someone goes down after 150 metres, you know you're through. There's no point wasting any energy. But Chairman Kobysov, just for the record, did win it. Brogan of the US second, van der Merwe of South Africa third, but there's no point really giving you the times. They do not mean anything at all. So let's just see what happens here. He was leading, he was going very fast, and he's just pulled up. He's pulled a muscle, and he was way, way quicker than everybody else. I'm not quite sure why he felt the need to go quite as quickly as that, because he would easily have qualified. His personal best would be about 6.5 seconds faster than Brogan of the US, so he didn't need to go out there. It's still early in the morning, and in athletics terms. So the doctor having a look at him, but they're just jogging around here. There really is no point. I mean, they could have walked over the line, and all 3 would have got into the final. So Brogan of the United States, Carsten Allen Brogan, probably can't believe his luck, because all 3 men in the race had personal best times of 53 something. His personal best was 1 minute something, And yet he has got through to the final because Andrei Onyefrienko of the Ukraine has pulled up. Van der Merwe shakes hands with Kobysov. And there is Andrei Onyefrienko. Looks like he's pulled a groin muscle or something. And he's being, yeah, he just pulls up there. Yeah, oh, it's painful.
He tied up, might have been hamstring, groin perhaps, but maybe hamstring. And he still went around 10, 15 meters, had been in the lead, and that was the end of him.
Hamstring was my first thought, and then I just saw where he was putting his hand rather than putting it around the back. But those are the qualifiers, 58.11, the time's academic really, Kobysov, and then Karsten Allenbrogen, Fanny van der Merwe, they are all through.
But it reminds me of the men's 400 metres final at the European Athletics Championships in Helsinki last summer, and Brian Gregan of Ireland was in the lead with 50 metres to go. He was in lane 8, he was in front, he was putting in the race of his life, and then his groin went, and I mean, that's it. Momentum brought him over the line, and he probably did himself a little bit extra damage doing that, and he managed to finish 6th in the end, which was fine. But there was, it was a groin injury, a very obvious groin injury, and no doubt a painful one. That's happened to him twice in European finals now. Torres Martinez of Colombia now leads the women's javelin in the 50s. Martina Villing is in 2nd place.
I think Onyefrienko was just trying to make a bit of a statement and just show how quick he is. Him and Van der Merwe have very similar PBs, and he came absolutely storming past him in lane 5. Van der Merwe outside in lane 6 after 150 metres was behind him and well behind him, and that just shows you how fast he'd gone compared to everybody else. And I thought, blimey, this bloke's good. And then he pulled up, and I think he'd just gone too fast and pulled a muscle. So the other javelin taking place, we've already seen at the other end, Sorokina of Russia winning gold. Let's have a little look at this while we wait for the 2nd semi-final in the race we just saw. Got a new leader with a championship record. This is Hania Aidi of Tunisia. She's got a championship record, she's in the lead, but let's go back for that 2nd semi.
Yes, and 5 go in this. It's the first 3 who qualify. Charles de Toy of South Africa. But in lanes 4 and 5, 2 men who are regular medalists at international level. Charles de Toy of South Africa is in lane 3. Personal best set this year of 52.86. Makes him competitive, makes him among the 3 fastest going into this race. Soufiane Hamdi. Silver in this in 2011 and in 2008. Twice African Games champion at this and at 100 metres. Brad Scott of Australia, 5 major championship medals, and normally behind McKillop. Valentin Bertrand of France is in lane 6. Matias Silveira of Argentina is in lane 7. Bertrand and Silveira have personal best and season's best outside the minute. So actually, you know what, through pure mathematics, there were only 3 in the first race and they all qualified. There's 3 who go through from this automatically.
They're all through.
And 2 fastest losers, and there's 5 in this, so they're all through. All they have to do is walk around if they wish.
What would you do if you were here, Will? Would you just jog round, just save yourself, or would you try and scare people for the final and do a fast one?
Well, don't forget, there is the lane draw to consider as well, so you're probably better off getting a decent time, and they're all away very well. Charles de Toy off quite slowly. I think he's decided he will have a jog, and the rest of them decided to go off and have a race among themselves. Hamdi, Scott, Bertrand and Silveira. Maybe a little bit of a psychological advantage. It's Scott who leads for Australia at the moment. He's normally concentrated on 800 and 1500 in his career, but he's come down to try the longest sprint, and it's Brad Scott who leads for Australia. Hamdi and Bertrand just behind. Silveira trying to play catch-up as well, but don't forget, all of the 5 in this are now through because of what happened to Onofrienko in the first semi-final. Brad Scott leads for Australia. It's Hamdi just behind him in second place. And there'll be a little battle for the other automatic qualifying spot, even though that is immaterial. Brad Scott is going to win for Australia. He's done very nicely here. Time will be around 55 seconds. He'll pull up before the end. So Scott wins. And second is Hamdi. And third is Bertrand. Fourth is Dutoy, who came back very well. And actually the fifth placer has just stopped on the line to catch his breath, and that was Matias Silveira of Argentina. But Brad Scott, very impressive. Of course, they would have been in the call room and warming up and may not have been automatically sure of what happened to Onofrienko, but I'm sure one or two were. Dutoy certainly looked as if he knew what he was doing, and he went through. In third place, but Brad Scott sailed across. Very simple. Like everybody else, through to the final, 52-62.
Yeah, Dutoy just actually does sprint at the end there just to get third place. Just explain for people that perhaps don't follow athletics quite as closely what the advantage is of getting a good time and the lane positions.
Well, the faster time means you get a middle lane for the final, which is always preferable because you're in the inside lane, lane one. The bend is very, very tight indeed. And we saw that cause major difficulties, by the way, in the aforementioned European Championships in Helsinki last year, because they relayed the football track there, which meant they dug up a bit of the track, they relayed the corners, and it meant that a lot of people in lane one were disqualified there. In lane 8, you may as well be in another country.
You can't see what's happening behind you.
Scott wins, Hamdi second, Dutoy third, Bertrand fourth, Silveira fifth. All they had to do was walk around. Scott actually quite fast in the end, really surprised at how quick he and Hamdi went round. 56.62, 2 seconds outside his personal best. Brad is due to join us for the final day of track action here on Saturday, incidentally. We've been negotiating with his agent for a few days. Here's the men's Shot Put F58 final. It's our first dip into that. Rakicki of Poland leading, Abdelaziz of Jordan second, Del Rosario third at the current situation there.
Got a championship record being announced to the crowd now. We'll have a look at the leading competitor in the shot put in just a moment. He's in the lead at the moment with a throw of 14.98. Rakicki of Poland. That is his throw that's taken him into the lead. Championship record for Aidi in the women's javelin throw, the crowd just being told about. But Janusz Rakicki of Poland, 14.69, 14.98. And his third one wasn't improvement, so his second throw keeps him in the lead at the moment, ahead of the Jordanian and the Mexican, the Pole and the Algerian. So the visually impaired javelin has finished, the wheelchair javelin continues, Aidi in the lead. And these are some warm-up throws for Daniela Todorova of Bulgaria. You're watching Paralympic Sport TV with me, Jeremy Nicholas, and Will Downing. Been another great morning of action. And lots more great stuff to come. So that was her first competition throw. We'll see how good exactly that was. She seemed happy with it. Obviously with the seated wheelchair javelin, they don't throw as far as they do in the visually impaired javelin. Daniela Todorova, fifth person to throw, 'Throw, 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 ' 18.05. Moves her up into 4th place. 821 points. It's a combined classifications for 54, 55 and 56s. So we're going to go to the men's shot put, see what's happening there. These are warming up throws for the Algerian. So the two events happening simultaneously, the men's shot put, and it's Rokiki of Poland in the lead from the Jordanian and the Mexican, and Aidi of Tunisia in the women's javelin throw, leading from the Colombian and the German at the moment. So let's have a look at the standings. In the women's javelin, Aidi of Tunisia from Torres Martinez of Colombia and Villing of Germany in the medal positions, Todorova and Gomez just outside them at the moment.
I was really amazed at how quickly the other javelin event was wrapped up this morning, but there was 5 throwers who were considered to be worthy of competing in a world championship, which I think is very important. And they all had 6 throws, and it was all over in half an hour. I know there are various people of different field events who feel that their event tends to get overshadowed at world championships. Not so much there, but the likes of Diamond Leagues and the big meetings that happen across Europe this time of year. It might be a good solution, just invite the best 5 or 6, have a proper competition between the best, and you've got a little bit of a prime time airing. But I can see the point that the likes of Christian Pyers, particularly in the hammer, always makes, in that at their event, which would start prime time 8 p.m. Central European time, and they're throwing at something like 5 or 6, and they get maybe 30 seconds of highlights shown, and I can see where they're coming from.
So this is the men's shot put,
There's
the F58
Paralympic
final.
Grand Prix, which is on also.
And this is Redouane Ait Said, currently in silver medal position. He's had 2 throws already. 12.96 his first one, 13.66 his best. This is his 3rd. Murmurs of approval for that one. It's a long way behind Rokiki of Poland. We'll measure that throw and get back to you. Got some more track action for you. Some 100 meters, T11. These are first rounds. So it's the men's 100 meters T11. Makunda in lane 1, Santos in 3, Koptev in 5, and Zhu in 7. We've seen quite a few Santoses, most of them are from Brazil, but this is Octavio Santos from Angola, Andrei Koptev from Russia. Personal best 11.44. And the fastest man on paper in the race is Zhu Li of China. World record in this event and the championship record, both held by Lucas Prado of Brazil. So Brazil have been doing great business in the blind sprinting. Very tough to get into the final. Now, we just saw some semi-finals where everybody, all 5 of them, were guaranteed to get through whatever they did. Much harder for these guys. It's just the first one who goes through from each of the 4 heats, and then the next 4 fastest go to the semi-final. That will give us 8. They'll get that down to 4 for the final. Fairly small crowd, but we've got Frenchmen in action. That's Mukunda, the Angolan Santos, Koptev of Russia, and Zhu Li of China. And they get faster the closer to us they are. The athletes nearest us have the best personal best. It's the Mukunda on the far side that has the slowest. So Mukunda away, Santos, Koptev and Zhu Li. And Zhu Li going very well indeed. It's Zhu Li and the Angolan coming up as well, Santos, but Zhu Li from Santos, from Koptev, and then Mukunda, who pulled up back in the race. So Zhu Li of China, very comfortable there. Santos of Angola actually getting it on the line. So a great start from Zhu Li of China, Santos from Angola, with Koptev of Russia in the middle. You see the Frenchman pulling up in the back there, and at this point it looked like Zhu Li of China had got it, but actually he didn't. Santos got it on the line. Octavio Santos with his guide Nicolau Ernesto Palancha.
He was barely 20 metres, by the way, when he pulled up, did Gautier Mukunda, who won a silver in this as recently as 2004, and who tends to win at least 1 medal per major championship. It's really unfortunate.
11:60, the qualifying time for Octavio Santos, and Zhu Li of China, who was just 2/100ths of a second behind. So that you'd expect would be one of the 4 fastest qualifying times. But I think Zhu Li just slowed down a little bit too much there. And Santos alongside him on the inside. It's very hard in these races because there will have been the guides of the Russian in between. Koptev and Petruchenko will have been in the way, and Wang Lin of China is the guide for Zhu Li. Maybe he didn't quite time that right, because on paper you'd expect the Chinaman to have beaten the Angolan, because his personal best is 0.43 faster. But the Angolan got it on the line by 2/100ths of a second. So confirmation that Santos is through, and Zhu Li will have to wait, as will Andrei Koptev. I would think Zhu Li will get through, but we shall have to see. The other 3 heats might well be very fast.
Action continuing in the field, and this is the women's javelin in the F50s, 54, 55, 56. This is Maria Bogacheva, a woman to watch. Bogacheva, whose lifetime best was thrown this year, which would put her in the medals potentially at the moment if she were to match it. Hania Aidi of Tunisia leads this ahead of Yaniv Torres Martinez of Colombia in second, and Martina Willing of Germany in third. It's down to points, this. So, this now her first throw that counts. Solid 15-meter one would get her well in place. That's around 13 or 14. So it's solid. Always get a decent one in first before really going for it. .39 puts her in fourth, just outside the medals. It's around the same. It bounced, but it was tipped first, so that should be okay. If it's flat, it's okay, but if it's in any way tilted in the other direction, then it won't count. Looks in and around that 14:39 region again. It was, by the way, just talking to Brad Scott a few moments ago. He was very happy in winning his 800 meters race, wanted a good time, got it. It was considered a foul, not by the judges where the flag is landing, but the judge sitting behind, which obviously means that Bogacheva sat up during the last jump. You'll just see there's a judge just to the left. Well, he's actually just out of your picture there, and he raises the white flag. There are two judges here. One to make sure that you don't basically leap off your seat, and the other to make sure that it lands properly. 14.92. It's another nice improvement. She's taken her 3 throws, and she remains in 4th place, but she's only 2 points away from Martina Willing and the bronze.
Got some great sprint action this morning. The semi-finals in about 15 minutes time of the men's 100 meters, the T42, with Heinrich Popov in action and Shaquille Vance, and Jayalath Yoda's in action as well, and Regas Woods and Atushi Yamamoto, Scott Reardon.
Quick look at how the men's shot put is currently situated. Kichki, Atsaid and Abdelaziz. 1, 2, 3 for now. But it's back to the first round heat, so the men's 100 meters T11. Quarter final essentially. 4 in this, with only the winner progressing and the next 4 fastest losers. Kisana Yorchi of Thailand has Machai Srikhampan as his guide. Bronze in London for Felipe Gomez of Brazil. Jorge Ortiz is his guide. Martin Pareco Mata of Spain has alongside him Timoteo Stewart Ortiz. Alexis Gillette, the best a man can get for the USA. He's in 7th alongside his guide Wesley Isaiah Williams. .11.62 at the moment is the target for the fastest losers. Otavio Santos of Angola won the first heat. Just got in ahead of Zhu Lai, the London 2012 champion, but he'll get through. I think there's not much worry about that as the fastest loser. So it's Yorchi in 1, Gomez in 3, Pareco Mata in 5, and Gillette is in lane 7. You can only have 4 per field in this, as the guide accounts for the extra lane. So all 8 lanes are taken up. It's only the winner who gets through in this. And a reminder that the athlete must cross the line first before the guide, otherwise you're disqualified. Yorchi, Gomez, Pareco Mata, and Gillette, the 4 in this first round heat. And away first time, and it's a scintillating start by the Brazilians, led by Felipe Gomez, and alongside Pareco Mata going well, and Gillette too. It'll be a real race for second, but Gomez is going to qualify automatically. There's no doubt about that at all. It's actually a championship record as well in the first round heats for Felipe Gomez, and it breaks the old mark of Lucas Prado from Christchurch. It's been rounded down to 11.34, and the rest were trailing in his wake. He shot away, catapulted out in front, and he kept the acceleration going. The guide eased back, and they did that exactly right. Pareco Mata was second, and they've given third to Gillette, and they were tightly bunched. There's a chance they'll all go through, but we'll wait and see. But Felipe Gomez has definitely made it. He was the bronze medalist in London. Championship record 11.34, and there was only 0.08 of a second between the rest of the field. Gomez through, personal best for Pareco Mata. Gillette and Yorchi will have to wait. Could be awkward for those 3. Slight headwind. Nothing much. It's been fairly still most of the week. We had one day, it was Monday, where it was ferocious. Now, this is the women's javelin, and Bogacheva's only 2 points behind Martina Willing at the moment. It's decided by points, and there will be future championships, we're told, where you'll be able to see the points as well. This is a 3-2-1. Martina Willing, 3rd place for Germany. First won gold in this in Barcelona in 1992. And she's still in the medals here, impressively, at the age of 53. Currently in second, Yaniv Torres-Martinez of Colombia. 15.59 is what she's thrown. That is a new continental record.
It's always nice to know there's a competitor out there that is older than me.
And leading for Tunisia is Hania Aidi. Championship record, 17.71. Well, Melaine Otti, veteran Jamaican, now competes for Slovenia. She's married there now. You'll normally see her in the relays, and she would be about 53 as well, I think, now.
How can she still do that at 53?
Well, she's still ultra-competitive, and Slovenia is not really a nation known for its sprinting. Throwers, the likes of Cosmos and so on. Mountainy men. And they've got some very good jumpers as well, by the way, in the women's long jump and triple jump. Never really had great sprinters, and she just blends in perfectly well. She still looks after herself. She's still incredibly fit. She still has the unbelievable figure that she always has had. I mean, she looks after herself. I mean, she's obviously a star in Slovenia. It's one of the countries that looks after their athletes quite well. So let's take a look at the 3-2-1 from this. It's the men's shot put F58, and Amar Abdel Aziz is third, 13.04. Ait Saeed in second, 13.66. This being decided on distance because it's a one-category event. It's the middle throw that did it for him. Take 3 throws in a row. And Janusz Rokicki of Poland leads 14.98, which is within 1.5 meters of the world record of a man who's going to throw very shortly, Alexei Ashabatov. It's Rokicki at the moment in pole position.
Some great track action to come later today. Marcel Hoog, Tatiana McFadden, Jason Smith. We've got Tati, we've got Oliveira, we've got Guillermina. Some fantastic action coming up on the track. I think the highlight will be...
We know this man, don't we? It's Octavio, who sings all the time.
Ah, yes, this is the chap we spoke to yesterday, who sings the Mexican anthem, and he communicates with all his people out in the field by singing to them. Some French supporters there. They will be in their seats for around about 10 to 8 tonight, when we will see the world champion Marie-Amélie Lefeur in action in the 100 meters final, T43, T44, up against the Beijing champ April Holmes and the fastest in the world from the Netherlands, Marlou van Rijn. That's going to be a real battle in the stadium tonight. 10 to 8 French time. Be with us for that. If you can see the French have painted their face. They do love to watch Marie-Amélie Lefeur. But we've got some more good action this morning. We're continuing with these heats in the men's 100 meters T11. So it's Elchin Muradov of Azerbaijan, Xavier Porres of Spain, Anaya Shikongo of Namibia, and Fernando Ferrer of Venezuela, with their guides as well. Muradov's guide will be Bulichev, Valentin Bulichev from Azerbaijan. 11.49, Muradov's personal best. Here's Xavier Porres with his guide, Enric Ismael Martin Panides of Spain. Saw him in the long jump, you may remember earlier. This is Anaya Shikongo of Namibia with Evan Chiviju, his guide. And these are the Venezuelans, Fernando Ferrer and Javier Herrera. So Muradov of Azerbaijan and Shikongo of Namibia both have personal bests of 11.49. They would be the favourites to go through. Reminder, it's just the first in each race. Muradov of Azerbaijan, Porres of Spain, Shikongo of Namibia, and Ferrer of Venezuela. Gentleman in front has just been asked to sit down because I couldn't see what was happening. There was no reason for him to be standing up because he's got a perfect view. But he gave me the thumbs up. There's been no diplomatic incident. And we're ready to go in this third heat of the men's 100 metres T11. Muradov of Azerbaijan, Porras of Spain, Shikongo of Namibia, and Ferrer of Venezuela. And Muradov on the inside away very quickly, so too Shikongo of Namibia. Shikongo of Namibia in the blue, Muradov of Azerbaijan on the inside. It's going to be Shikongo of Namibia who qualifies, and Muradov of Azerbaijan second, then Ferrer of Venezuela, Porras of Spain in fourth place. 11:34, the time there, equaling the championship record. So it was between Muradov on the inside in the black, Shikongo of Namibia in blue, and Shikongo over the line, 11:33, championship record. Muradov on the inside, 11:62, Ferrer 11:69, and Porras 12:09.
Yes, 11:33 by Shikongo breaks the old championship record of Lucas Prado by 11.38. Well, Shikongo absolutely flew through. That is a personal best. It's a good prospect that that's also a national record and an African record too. But it's a championship record at the very least, 11:33. Muradov second, Ferrer in third. I was mentioning Marlene Otti as we were earlier. She did compete in the European Championships in Helsinki last year, 2012, and the first time she won a major international record was in the Pan Am Games, 1979.
Extraordinary.
I was 3. Now the men's shot put has changed a little bit since we last saw it. She'll update you on that in a moment, but there is another men's shot put final about to begin, which is the F35. Now this was not competed for in London 2012. There was the option for all of these athletes to compete elsewhere, but they did not medal. Longest throw in this coming from Tomasz Palinski of Poland, 11:65 is lifetime best from this year. 1:09 you see there is Fata Churak. He's actually thrown the shortest PB of the lot, but that means nothing in terms of championships. Gu Wai holds the world record and championship record in this. Has been an event previously. So Fata Churak, his first attempt in this. He's the third to throw. 9:55 is the leader for Pais, and that looks in and around there. Andreas Montos of Greece is second, 8:59 at the moment. Well, Churak 8:59, his lifetime best, and if he gets that, he'd go joint second, but I think that might just have been a bit further. It's not always easy to judge when you've got one marker, but that looks around 9 meters, probably between 8:50 and 9 meters dead. It's 8:89. He goes into second place, and it's a personal best. And you can't do better than that with your first throw.
Great first throw for the Algerian. Back on the track in just a moment, Lucas Prado of Brazil, the world record holder, going in the final of the 4 heats in the men's 100 metres T11. So let's have a look at Michael Glab of Poland. First attempt. It's being led by Paez of Venezuela, from Churak of Algeria, Montos of Greece, and this is Glab, who's the 5th person to throw because Palinski got a no mark, and it's a no mark too for Michael Glab, gets a red flag. So both the Poles have no throws. So at the moment, Venezuela from Algeria and Greece in third.
At the moment, the Poles are apart.
Like it.
It's the final heat of the men's 100 metres T11, and this features the reigning world champion. This is Alexis Acosta of Argentina. This guy Jose Pignataro. Lane 3 for Portugal, Firmino Baptista, alongside his guide, Ivo Vital. Lane 5, Jesus Diaz, Venezuela, alongside his guide, Manuel de la Rosa. Well, this is the man to beat, really. Lucas Prado, the reigning world champion, who won in Beijing. He does have a guide listed. He's just standing away from him. Cristino Barbosa dos Santos is T11, so he has to have a guide. Guide had just shuffled away. Prado holds the world record and the championship record as well, but this is why the guide was standing away. There's a little bit to discuss. Brazil did have a new winner, by the way, of the South American Champions League last night. Atletico Mineiro won the Copa Libertadores. They beat Olimpia Paraguay in penalties. And I think there's a problem for one of the athletes, that the glasses weren't right. You have to wear glasses that are blacked out just to make sure you really are at T11. That'll take a while, I think, to resolve.
Give us a mask. We will have a mask. Okay. We will have a mask.
Yeah, so the problem was they didn't have glasses, and he's now saying, we will have a mask, we will have a mask, but I mean, it's pretty well known in the T11 category that the athlete has to have a mask on. He hasn't got anything at the moment.
So we go back to the shot put, and this is Alexis Jose Pais of Venezuela, 9.55 in the first round, which was a season's best, and that is almost dead on 10 meters. It'll be a marginal improvement. He'll stay second, but it will push him further away from the bronze medalist at the moment, Fatah Chourak of Algeria.
Still waiting at the start of that T11. And extraordinary that an athlete could turn up in an event where you have to make it a level playing field, where a mask or glasses that are completely blacked out.
9.63. Improves by 8 centimeters. Fatah Chourak of Algeria saw a clean sweep from them in the competition for the 50s yesterday for the 3rd event in a row. 8.89 he's thrown, personal best in the first round. Now, can he get over 9 meters for the first time? Not sure he has. .856, he stays in 3rd place. So now we can return to the men's 100 meters T11. The issue with the glasses has been resolved. It's not really down to the athlete. They're T11s, they're totally blind. How would they know whether the sunglasses are blacked out or not? So let's go through them again. It's Acosta of Argentina in 1, Baptista Portugal 3, Jesus Diaz of Venezuela in 5, and Lucas Prado, the reigning world champion, is in lane 7. 11.15 is a target. His championship record, he lost a few moments ago to Anania Shikongo. The world record is 11.03. Set in winning gold in Beijing in 2008. He's a proper athlete. We've not seen a T11 athlete ever break 11 seconds before, but if anyone will, then he's surely the man. Acosta, Baptista, Diaz, and Prado. And Prado's away very well, but also Baptista flying very well in 3. And now Prado really comes into his own. Prado ahead of Diaz. Prado is going to win. You knew he would. Very impressive. 11.41. Prado first, Diaz second, Baptista third, Acosta four. Now Prado, well, he wasn't going straight there for a while. Wobbling a little bit in terms of his line. I would imagine that explains the time in the end. And 11.41. It's not the fastest from him, but he won the heat, and that is the only thing that matters. And he fluctuated a bit between lanes 7 and his proper lane 8, but that is allowed. They are given a bit of sway in the T11s. And Prado wins 11.41, ahead of Diaz, ahead of Baptista, and ahead of Acosta. So 11.41, and that headwind is actually getting a bit stronger. It's almost -2. Prado wins it. Diaz second as a fastest loser at 11.72. Be interesting to see who else has made it, actually. And July, the London 2012 champion, was the fastest of the losers, along with Muradov, Ferrer, and Diaz. And interestingly, in Heat 2, where second, third, and fourth were all tightly bunched, they're all eliminated.
Real battle to keep the Brazilian in his lane there. The guide was almost like a minder, just pushing him back in the lane so he didn't come out. Let's go back and see what's happening on the field. And this is going to be Paez of Venezuela, currently in second place in the shot behind Paulinski. And he's thrown a season's best 9.63 so far today, but that is 8.85. Gives a thumbs up to the camera, 9.55 and 8.85, but his best, his second throw, 9.63. Got some 100 meters T42 semi-finals coming up shortly, with Heinrich Popov and Shaquille Vance in action, along with Jayalath Yoda and Trevor Wallace of the States.
Now we've got the women's long jump coming up. This is T13. This will probably last 15 minutes because we've got 3 in it from 3 different nations, which is the minimum allowed. So say, for example, there were 2 South Africans in this, they simply couldn't have a competition. And you may say, well, why have an event if you've only got 3 in it? But if they are 3 truly world-class athletes, simply why not? But there are reasons why in certain years you don't have various events held, and it's because it's felt that the standard is not world-class enough, or simply aren't enough athletes from a sufficient number of countries, and it's 3 countries.
It'd be quite nice, though, to start an event knowing that you're going to get a medal.
Sana Benhama of Morocco is in this. Ilse Hayes, gold medal, London 2012, Beijing 2008, the last World Championships in 2011. The record holders are from a different time. Marla Runyon, world record 1995, when it wasn't called T13, it was something totally different then. And that is a foul right at the start by Yulia Korunchak. We could almost show you all of this and you'd miss very little elsewhere. In terms of personal bests, Ilse Hayes, class of the field, her personal best is 5.86, which is 2 centimeters behind the world record from the mid-90s of Marla Runyon in the United States. Yulia Korunjak, who we saw there, 5.30 is her personal best. And Sana Benhama of Morocco is third in terms of PBs, 5.18. We'll dip in and out of that as well, but it will be over very quickly. Now, there is still shot put action going on. F35. They are fizzing through that as well because there are 5 entrants.
It's quite nice to see the way they're whipping through some of these. So this is currently being led by Tomasz Polinski of Poland. And the other one at the other end is being also led by a Pole, and that is Janis Rakicki, ahead of the Brazilian. So Poland leading both the 2 men's shot put at the moment. One's the F58, one's the F35. We'll keep you up to date with what's happening in that women's long jump over on the far side. And we've got some more sprint action for you now. And you'll recognise some of the names in here: Yoda, Vance, Popov. We've seen them all already in action here. chap's a bit quick. Heinrich Popov, 12.29, his personal best. He's the fastest man in the field. Shaquille Vance of the USA, 13.30 this season, 13.03 his best ever time. Second fastest in the race is this guy, Earl Connor of Canada. PB of 12.45. Yuki Mano of Japan. Just a correction on that long jump, and that is that just the 2 medals will be awarded. That's Yoda of Sri Lanka in lane 7, and Trevor Wallace of the United States in lane 8. So if there's 3 competitors in an event, you just get the 2 medals. Trevor Wallace, quite a character from the USA. So the first 3 and the next 2 fastest will qualify. And you'd expect it to be Popov from Germany on that inside lane, but watch out for Connor of Canada as well. And Vance of USA has been going very well. It's the men's 100 metres, T42. And they're being asked to stand up. First 3 in each heat go through, then the next 2 fastest. Got Scott Reardon and Regis Woods going in the other heat.
Let us run, we had A1.
Please, keep cool.
So just a general warning to everyone. So we'll have another go at this one. Popov of Germany, Vance of USA, Connor of Canada, Mano of Japan, Yoda of Sri Lanka and Wallace of the USA. Vance and Yoda still to go down. He will do it from a crouching position. Yoda still stands fairly tall. Vance does half crouch down. Now Yoda does crouch down. And away they all go. And it's a great start for Popov of Germany. Connor of Canada in the lead. Connor of Canada in the white. On the far side, Popov of Germany is coming up on him. It's going to be Connor of Canada that gets it. Oh, he's fallen over. Oh. Fell over. Well, Popov of Germany turns around to see exactly what happened there. And he's absolutely distraught. The other competitors just coming over to see if he's okay.
Well, he just stumbled. He went down with, I would say, around 10 metres to go. So keep your eye on Popov on 1, but just watch Connor alongside the Canadian singlet, the white and the black here was going okay. Vance was alongside him. Vance was the first to check out, and he just went there with around 20 to go. And he toppled over, and that was the end of his chances there. And he wanted to cross the line, despite what pain he was, and he's still down, incidentally.
I wonder if he actually treads with his good foot on his blade. That would seem very unlikely, but that almost looked to me as though that's what happened. We've got the wrong man there, we're seeing, but Popov of Germany, who was in second place, Connor of Canada, who was leading, and he somehow tripped himself, or I don't know if he trod on his blade with his other foot or something, but let's just see what happens
carefully here.
Oh,
yeah, he did. He clipped his blade with the back of his other heel.
Yeah, and he's gone down. Oh, that must hurt as well. So that's his dream over, because he was comfortably qualifying. He was leading Heinrich Popov. Poor fella, and he's distraught. And that must have hurt, but it will have hurt his pride, and also that ended his part in the 100 metres. Never like to see that. They're asking him if he'd like a stretcher. I think he's going to be okay with that. Just leading him away.
That's worth pointing out. He didn't cross the line last, incidentally. But Popov wins, and it was a championship record past all that. Reminds me, when, in a way, of when Gail Davis tripped in the final hurdle in Barcelona, and everybody was looking at her. I didn't see that Paraskevi Patulidou won for Greece. So Popov wins this, and Connor was actually fifth, but
it's extraordinary to fall over in 100 metres and still not finish last. So
momentum.
Confirmation that Popov, Yoda and Vance qualify. And what a shame for Earl Connor, because he won't be one of the two fastest to advance to the final, unless a lot of people fall over in the second semi. Now, you can hear some music. It's a championship record over in the long jump. It happened for Ilse Hayes of South Africa. We saw her get us silver in the sprint a couple of days ago, and she's now set a new championship record, Ilse Hayes. We'll see if we can show you that, but it happened just before the start of that race, when they were standing up. Ilse Hayes of South Africa took advantage of that moment to do her jump. Great competitor, and this is it. Championship record, Ilse Hayes of South Africa. Great jump for her. So that is 5 meters 76. Since then she's jumped 5:47, and she set a new championship record. Ben Hama of Morocco set a personal best 5:53. Currently in the silver medal position, and the Ukrainian 4:28. So just confirmation there'll just be the 2 medals in this. As there are only 3 competitors, they will not award a bronze. Otherwise it's just too easy to turn up and get a medal. And very firmly in the gold medal position, Ilse Hayes.
So this now the second semi-final of the men's 100 meters T42. Features in this another of the home favourites who has previously medalled at some major games. But we'll very quickly drop back to the women's long jump, the T13. We've seen a championship record with the first round of 5:17 from Ilse Hayes. We're into the third round now, and Yulia Koronchak of Ukraine. By the way, I remember when I was in Beijing for the Olympic Games in 2008, and you could watch the Olympics on 6 different channels, and on one of the channels at night, they would show you each field event in full. And that's a red flag for Koronchak, which is great news if you love the long jump, but probably not as much if you didn't like the hammer and the javelin. So.
And knowing you, you'd have stayed up just to watch some of that, did you?
I did actually, yeah. Because we'd be getting back at around midnight every night, and we'd still be buzzing from the days. Actually, you'd be up at 8, straight into work, and very little sleep was had there. Not normally for good reasons. Men's 100 meters T42, semi-final 2. And this includes 2 of the 3 medalists from the last World Championships. In Christchurch, we saw Henrik Popov, the world champion, win the opening semi-final. In catastrophic circumstances for the Beijing champion Earl Connor, who I think we've seen the last of in this event here at least. Connor is the world record holder from a long time ago, actually, in Leverkusen. For the home nation. Silver medalist in the last World Championships in Christchurch, and the champion from Athens 2004, Pavel Kayatare, alongside the bronze medalist from the last World Championships, Atsushi Yamamoto. Will they be leaving La Vegas, its woods of the USA?
Never seen them.
Diaz is Basarov of Russia's in 5. Personal best this year, 13:58. Daniel Jorgensen of Denmark. We've seen in a lot of the sprints and the field events. Good ambassador for his country. Scott Reardon too for Australia. 12.14, he's the fastest in the field. personal best set this year. She's a live candidate. And Gainender Singh of India is in lane 8. It's the slowest personal best. So you can only aspire to improve. First 3 go through to the final, and the next 2 fastest. So Scott Reardon in 7. Fastest time in the world this year. Had to be, it's the world record. Alongside Earl Connor. He's only 23. Kaitara, Yamamoto, Woods. There's Basarov, Jorgensen, Reardon and Singh. Lanes 2 to 8. Well, the way the first time of asking, Reardon right out of the box very early, and Yamamoto and Kaitara going well in 2 and 3. Reardon is a slight lead. Kaitara is trying to get the win for the home support, but Reardon will get it for Australia. 12-4-7. Kaitara and Yamamoto completing the 1-2-3. And Reardon 12-4-6, the official time. Not really tested the Australian at all. Kaitara and Yamamoto started well and kept going well, and the rest just that bit too far behind. 12.14, the mark he recorded earlier this year, Scott Reardon, which is at the same time as the official world record held by Earl Connor, but if it's done in IAAF competition, it won't count as a world record, but it can sometimes count as a personal best. It's pretty much a case-by-case basis. But Reardon continues the good run of Australian success. They've won a lot of medals so far this week, 21 in total. Only 2 of those are gold. Reardon makes himself a prime candidate to add to that tally here. Jorgensen and Woods also qualify as fastest losers, and both with PBs. And these are the 8 who are in the final. Heinrich Popov with a new championship record. Reardon will fancy his chances, and the rest will now too, that Earl Connor will not be in the final.
Lots of field action going on at the moment. We've got a women's javelin, a men's shot put, 2 of them, the F35 and the F58, the women's long jump as well. Quickly to tell you that Russia are leading one of the shot puts, Poland leading the other one, South African Ilse Hayes still in the lead in the long jump, and the women's javelin throw being led by Aidi of Tunisia. But we are going to have another medal ceremony.
Les médailles seront remises par la présidente du comité paralympique et sportif français, Madame Emmanuelle Asman.
It's the men's 1500 T20. This was the first final we saw on the track this morning.
Président du comité d'organisation des championnats du monde d'athlétisme paralympique Lyon 2013, Monsieur Laurent Allard.
Bronze medalist representing the Russian Federation.
Médaille de bronze représentant la Fédération de Russie, Vyacheslav Truslanev.
Bronze for Russia. Got some more great action coming up on the track this morning. We've got the semi-finals of the men's 100 metres for the T53 wheelchair races, and some big names in that. Young of Korea, Brent Lakatos of Canada will be going, Mickey Bushell of the States, Pierre Fairbank, the local hero, Larison of Iceland is going to be in that one. Stay with us for that. So Krystalow gets the bronze, and here's the silver medalist, Daniel Peck of Poland. The Poles were much fancied in this race. Ended up with just the 1 silver. They could possibly have had gold and silver. Cork not medaling at all.
Gold medalist and world champion, representing the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Médaille d'or et champion du monde, représentant la République islamique d'Iran, Peyman Nassiri Bazanjani.
Because of this guy, Nazir Bazanjani from Iran. Wearing the green in the race, the shortest competitor, and he just suddenly flew away from the others. And the 2 Poles in the white and red could not keep with him. for the Russian.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you are able for the national anthem of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Mesdames et messieurs, merci de vous lever si vous le pouvez pour l'hymne national de la République islamique d'Iran.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world champion medalists.
Mesdames et messieurs, les médaillés mondiaux.
Applause from the French crowd. Iran number 16 in the medal table at the moment with 3 gold medals. If it was ranked by total medals, they'd be 19th, but on gold medals, they are 16th. There he is, Naziri Bazanjani, a deserved winner of the first final on the track this morning. And as they go away, there you can see the blimp above the stadium. Oh, I can see it live. It's just through there, the other side of the trees. So the top 10 in the medal tables. At 10, it's Italy, 9 Poland, 8 Algeria, 7 China, 6 Germany, 5 Ukraine, 4 it's Brazil, 3 the US of A, 2 it's Great Britain, and top of the medals table at the moment, it's the Russian Federation with 14 golds. This is Ilse Hayes, who's leading at the moment in the women's long jump. She set a championship record, 5.76 with her first jump, 5.47 the second, 5.69 the third. And she's quite a way ahead of Ben Harmer of Morocco, who set a personal best of 5.53. And Korunchak of Ukraine with 5 meters dead. Ilse Hayes, very popular figure in South Africa, where Paralympic sport is big. We saw her get a silver on the track. She's heading for a gold in the long jump. So she set 5.76, a championship record, beating Karagiani, which was set in 2006 in the Netherlands.
And on scoreboard.
Now the world record, which is her next target, is 5.88. Marla Runyan of the USA set in Colorado back in 1995, when it was a very different classification. But another 13 centimetres would overhaul that for Ilse. Just keep it cool in the shade. So let's have a look at the previous jump. This is the Moroccan, Sana Ben Harmer. 5.24, but her first jump was her best, 5.53, new personal best. So let's go back to the track. Ones to watch out for here, Brent Lakatos of Canada in 7. Got the local favourite, Pierre Fairbank, in lane 3. Scrungent of Thailand. Listen to the applause for this guy. Pierre Fairbank of France. Personal best, 15.41. Larison of Iceland. Personal best, just over 19 seconds. He's got Race for Life on his shoulder. Hunt of the USA with a PB of 15.98. Is Jung Dong Ho of Korea, 15.51 his PB. And in lane 7, the man I call the dude, Brent Lakatos, with the beard and the white helmet and the maple leaf tattoo on his shoulder, far and away the fastest in the field. 14:68 Brent has done. And Mickey Bushell of the United Kingdom, Great Britain, T53 class, he's done 14:93. He's the second fastest in the race. So just the first 3 in each heat will qualify. There's 8 in the race. Sorry, 7 in the race, 6 in the next race, and the fastest 2 overall will also advance to the final. So look out for Lakatos, look out for Bushell, and Fairbank of France will also have lots of support from the local crowd. And away they go well, and Lakatos away well, but Bushell in the lead at the moment for Great Britain. Bushell for Great Britain in the lead, and now here comes Brent Lakatos, just turning on the gas a little bit. Oh, just the way he suddenly eased up through the gears was absolutely stunning. Brent Lakatos over the line, ahead of Bushell, young of career, getting the 3rd qualification place, and Brent Lakatos just eased his way through that. Bushell got off to a flying start, and then Lakatos said, oh, you know what, I'm the fastest in this race. He set himself a new championship record, 25:11. Look at Brent Lakatos here. Look at the hand speed on the guy. Everybody else seems to do long ones. He just does quick little short ones. He's got that second little inner wheel inside there. And it's Lakatos and Bushell. And I'm not sure that Young wasn't actually pipped into 4th place. He was. Yeah. What happened with the Korean? He was pushing a bit too strong and his wheels started lifting up. But Brent Lakatos very, very comfortable with the maple leaf tattoo. Pierre Fairbank of France just sneaked in because the Korean's wheel came up. The Korean had qualification there, and then he lost his rhythm a bit. So it's Lakatos, Bushell and Fairbank, and Young will have to wait and see. He did a personal best, but he was pushing a bit hard and his wheel came up. But the local guy sneaked in. 14:58, new championship record for Brent Lakatos.
Now let's return to the women's long jump, the T13. We're into the penultimate round. Hayes of South Africa leading with that championship record of the first round of 5:76. Benama of Morocco second, 5:53. Personal best again from the first round. And Yulia Koronchak of Ukraine has been down in 3rd place and outside of the medals throughout. She's had 3 fouls. Her best attempt is 5 meters. We'll remind you, if there's an event with only 3 competitors, you have to have only 2 medals, and she was well over the board there. Might be a bit of a technique bother. They are T13s, so it's the most minimal visual impairment, but there is visual impairment. It's the same category as Jason Smith, the 100 meters Paralympic champion and world champion, and last time I mentioned it to him, he says he can probably see about 40 meters in front, but everything beyond that is a blur, and everything around that straight line of vision, it's like a tunnel, all blurred. But you can see dead in front, which is why he's so good with the 100 meters. Sana Benama of Morocco. 5:53 now, an improvement needed here, but she got a personal best in the first round, needs to improve by another 25 centimeters or so. Not quite sure that's it. She is in the medals. It would need an improvement of over half a meter for Koronchak to deny her now. Koronchak's personal best is 5:30. Benama was ranked 3rd of the 3 going into this, so she's actually done well to get into the silver medal position so far. We'll bring you the final round, but now it's the second semi-final of the men's 100 meters T53. The biggest names, realistically, were all in the first semi-final. It's just the way it's been drawn out. Stephen Binning, USA 3. Arias Valdo Silva, Brazil in 4. And we've seen quite a bit this week. Brian Seaman of the United States, 23 and improving. Mohammed Bini Hashim of the United Arab Emirates is in lane 6. Nicolas Brino of France is in lane 7. Personal best this year, 15:97. Nabil Fahad of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is in lane 8. 15:46 is the cut-off time for the fastest losers, which won't be a consideration if they're in the first three. Binning, Silva, Seaman, Bani Hashem, Brignon, Fahad, the 6 in this. First 3 through. And they'll have to do it again. Full start. It's difficult to pick out, I have to say. Normally, with the naked eye, you can see who's done it. No one entirely obvious to me. Although Silva from Brazil did shoot away ahead of the pack. They do give out red cards here. There's no mercy. Let's see the replay if there was anything obvious. Oh, I think that's lane 6. Bani Hashem of the United Arab Emirates. From that replay, it did look obvious, and the card is a red one. And Bani Hashem has been disqualified, and that's the end of his 100 meters. So it's unfortunate. The athlete from the United Arab Emirates. But rules is rules. And he will depart the scene. So Bani Hashem is out of this race. And we're down to a field of 5. Went out ahead of the rest. Entered for the 200 as well, so it's not a wasted journey. So here we go again. Binning in 3, Silva 4, Seaman 5, Brignon 7, Fahad is in lane 8. Away for the second time. Seaman will get cranking now in 5, and Silva in 4, and Fahad in 8. Looks really looking good for Saudi Arabia. It's between Silva and Fahad for the victory. And Seaman is up well as well, and now the 3 who'll go through. Silva took it ahead of Fahad with Seaman in 3rd. And 14:93, the official time. That's a season's best for him. All quite fast through to the final, those 3. And for the other 2, it's just a case of trying to keep up and get a fastest losers time. That'll be determined. Bani Hashem disqualified for the full start. Silva with the victory. Never really looked uncomfortable. Fahad 2nd. Just powering away. Major upper body strength. So in this event, it's a big, big help. No problem in the end. Now,
let's go back to the women's long jump. At the moment, it's all a bit of a haze. Ilse Hayes of South Africa set a new championship record. And at the moment, she's 5:76. Sana Benhama of Morocco, 5:53, personal best. She is about to jump. She would have to go way, way further than she has ever jumped before if she's going to turn that silver into gold. Big moment for the Moroccan. And here she goes, 5:53, 5:16, 5:24, 4:61.
Red flag.
And she's red flagged. That means that she will get the silver, and Ilse Hayes of South Africa will get the gold, and she will have one more jump to see if she can improve on her championship record of 5:76. So a smile from the Moroccan. She's happy with her silver, because she came into this competition with the 3rd best personal best, and she has beaten Karunchak of Ukraine. Just the 3 women in this, so just the 2 medals presented, gold and silver. And you can see there her foot over the line, no option but to get a red flag. So Ilse Hayes of South Africa already has the silver on the track. Now she has a gold in the long jump. She has a championship record, 5:76. Can she get an improvement on that? And could she even approach the world record set by Marla Runyon, 5:88? A very long-standing record dating back to 1995. She would have to go considerably further. She needs to add another 13 centimetres to her jump. So if you think of a ruler that you had at school, about half of that extra she would need to add to get a world record. I don't think she'll get it, but here she goes, Ilse Hayes of South Africa. Big jump. Is it better than 5.76? Can she improve on a championship record? She gets applause from the judges. We'll wait for the measurement. Ilse Hayes, enormously popular athlete in South Africa. Let's look at her style here. She gets good speed on the run-up, leans back, feet forward, doesn't fall backwards. Perfect technique, very, very good for this T13 category for athletes with a visual impairment. Goes over to the coach, does the high five, and Ilse Hayes of South Africa has had a good day here in Lyon at these IPC Athletics World Championships. 5.54, it's come up, she hasn't improved, but her opening jump of 5.76, a new personal best and a new championship record. And the gold medal goes to Ilse Hayes of South Africa. Ben Harmer getting the silver for Morocco, and there's no bronze as there's just the 3 competitors. So just confirmation there, it's all a bit of a haze. Ilse Hayes winning with a championship record from Ben Harmer and Karunchak. Got some discus starting up now. These field events are coming thick and fast today. The women's javelin and the men's shot put. Now we've got a bit of discus. It's our first look at it. It's actually been running for a while. Tunisia 1 and 2 in it at the moment. That's the lady in second place. Amemia of Tunisia, 21.70 she's thrown. Tlili of Tunisia has thrown 27.84. So we've got more action out on the track now. These 100 meters keep coming thick and fast. It's the semi-final. We've seen him in action before, Saishan Konjen of Thailand. 14.10 his PB. Christian Gobi of Cameroon. This fella always quick, whatever the distance. Mark Shu. 14.09 his personal best. Sam Carter of Australia, 14.63. This man also competes in many different distances. Eric Hightower of the USA, 14.48 his personal best, 14.93 this season. Fernandez Lopez of Colombia, 14.81. And the fastest man in the race, Leo-Pekka Tati, a legend in this sport, 13.63, the only man in the field to have gone under 14 minutes. Pulling the flying fin. He holds not only the world record and the championship record, he's the favourite to win this. First 3 qualify, the 2 fastest losers. So watch out for Shu and Konjen and Tati and Hightower. False start again. Now, I fear when this happens that we might see another red card. Let's just hope it's not one of the really fancied competitors, because it would be such... Lane 7, it looked to me, the Colombian, Ciro Fernandez Lopez. Clearly saw his wheel, yeah, he gets a push off. Lane 7, lane 2 looked pretty quick as well. Cameroon, Gobi, but I have a feeling we're about to see a red card to Fernandez Lopez of Colombia. Oh, it's a green card, that's good news. I don't know how they decide that he only gets a green card and the previous guy got a red card. I think it's how obvious it is. If he really goes for it, then you get the red. If it's just a twitch, it's only a green. But on such margins is how races are decided. IAAF competition, obviously you'd have blocks that would then record the reaction time and whether it was legal or not. But here with the wheelchairs, there's none of that. So Konjen of Thailand, Gobi of Cameroon, Shu, Carter, Hightower, Fernandez, Lopez and Tati. And away they go, and Tati away to an absolute flyer. He's going extremely well. Mark Shu of Germany away very well as well indeed. But the man who's flying, it's the flying Finn. It's Tati going extremely well. Konjen of Thailand will also qualify, as will Carter of Australia. Tati of Finland, the world record holder, Konjen of Thailand and Carter of Australia. And he's taken some time off his own championship record. The flying Finn, Leo-Pekka Tati, has set a new championship record. And he is very safely through to the final. The Star Wars music alerting the crowd to the new championship record. The flying Finn has done it with 13.76. Ahead of Konjen, 14.16 who also qualifies, and Carter of Australia qualifies with a personal best of 14.39. But let's just have this single shot here of the flying Finn. Good action. His front wheel just comes up slightly, looks across, there's nobody there, and the man in blue, a very, very comfortable winner. He's the world record holder, and he's just improved on his championship record to ease his way through into the final of the men's 100 metres T54. So confirmation of the three qualifiers, Tati in a championship record, Konjen and Carter also through. Mark Shu will have to wait and see, as will Eric Hightower.
Now let's return to the women's discus, and it is all over, and it's gold and silver to Tunisia, and victory for this lady, Raoua Tlili, 27.84 in the opening round. This was her sixth round throw, 26.90, which was her second furthest, and which would have won gold in its own right. Her compatriot Fatia Amaimia was second. These events, they are performing fantastically. It's their fourth gold, and they now have another silver as well. So that's 10 medals. And this was Fatia's throw in second, 21.70. It came in the third round, and it was an important one because it kept Holly Neal of Great Britain down in third place. F41, so those of short stature. We've seen her actually wandering around a lot this week, and well, now she can do so with a medal. Hugs all round. Tunisia gold and silver, and Holly Neal the bronze for Great Britain.
Talking of hugs all round, Marcel Hug will be in action later today.
This was Neal's best throw, came in the third round, 21.54. Well, it's a good performer, boost the British tally up to 22 medals overall now. They've won the fourth highest tally in terms of medals, the second highest number of golds.
And that's how we're doing it, we're judging it on the number of golds. That's the official international way of doing it.
So Tunisia 1 and 2 for Tlili, who wins the gold medal. Amaimia the silver, and the bronze for Britain's Holly Neal. Now the last race of the morning. It's the men's 100 metres T54. There are 3 medal ceremonies to come, and they'll be in the next 10 minutes. And they'll be of significance to many of you. Kelly Van Wiegel goes in this. And the bronze, this category in the last World Championships, but it's Sukum Namlun of Thailand who's in 2. Nicholas Alvarez of Sweden goes in 3. Matthew Cameron of Australia is in lane 4, and his personal best set this year, and it makes him on form the second fastest in the field. Demajaju of Gambia is in lane 5. Esa-Pekka Mattila of Finland can only try and emulate his compatriot Leo-Pekka Tati. He's in 6. Kenny van Weigel, bronze in this in 04 in Athens and 2011 in Christchurch. The Netherlands in 7. And Curtis Tom of Canada rounds it off in lane 8. Van Weigel won bronze in the 400 this week. 14:39 is the cutoff point for the fastest losers. It's the first 3 who go through, and the next 2 fastest. Nam Lun in 2, Almers 3, Cameron 4, Jarju 5, Mattila 6, Van Weigel 7, and Curtis Tom of Canada is in lane 8. This is the only man in the field who's ever gone below 14 seconds, and he and Tati have been jousting for years. Tati is normally coming out on top. Mattila could be a new Finnish name for us, but we will see. First 3 of the 7 through. Namlun, Almers, Cameron, Jarju, Mattila, Van Weigel, and Tom. Away first time, Van Weigel will start going. Mattila's got a good start in lane 6, I have to say. The fender, and he's alongside the right man too. He can use him as a pacer because Van Weigel is well away in 7. Van Weigel is going to win this. There'll be a blanket finish for the rest. And the clock didn't stop, by the way. I think it's around 14 seconds that he went through in, perhaps lower than that. But Kenny Van Weigel sailed through, did very, very well, gets the win. 13:84. Is the official winning time. It's a season's best for him. It's the first time this year he's gone below 14 seconds, and it's only 0.06 away from his lifetime best. But Van Weigel just simply wasn't troubled there, but Mattila did his best to keep up as far as he could. Might just have got him through to the final. No trouble at all for Van Weigel. Cameron was second, Namlund third, and it was fourth for Mattila. So wait and see. Has an opportunity as the fastest loser. Take a few seconds for that to be determined. Dutch have done very well this week. Van Weigel with the gold in the 200 and the bronze in the 4. And he coasting away very, very nicely. So he has a prospect in the final, which only contains 1 Finn. Mattila wasn't fast enough. And the 2 fastest were Tati and Van Weigel. And the battle almost definitely will be between them for gold. Kongen, good competitor, good chance of medaling for him. Now the men's shot put F58. This is still running. This is where you have 3 throws in a row, and then another succession of 3 later on in the competition. This is the last throw of Redouane. Ait Said is currently 5th for Algeria. 1 category, the F58, so it is solely on distance.
That's the conclusion of all the action on the track, but we've got some great track action coming up this afternoon, especially the big contest coming up with the leg amputee sprint for women, the T43-44 100 metres. That's coming up at about 10 to 8.
Women's javelin is still on as well. That will take another little bit of time to resolve because it's across a number of categories in the 50s, and we're only with 8 final throwers, so 3 throws at a time. Only Martina Villing has had hers. She's down in 5th, so that actually means she's not going to pick up a medal. But Algeria are going to pick up a lot here, and I know there's a few people watching in Canada who are really interested in the last medal ceremony. That's coming up in around 3 or 4 minutes, so stay awake. I know it's, well, it's either very early morning or very late night, depending where you are. But for the 3rd consecutive time in the men's shot put F32-33, Algeria have a clean sweep. This happened last night, which means a lot of medals are on their way to Algeria because there are helpers involved here. And the three men who medalled here have been finishing in different orders in the 1, 2, 3 over the past 3 championships as it is now, and Muna Bakiri is one of those.
Great smile from him, and he's really having to work hard to stand there steady to get his medal. And he's got a grin the size of the park that we're in. Delighted. Just chatting to the girl in charge of the medal ceremonies.
Well, Karim Bettina is a prior gold medalist in this, but not this time. It's the silver for him. Bettina threw 10.37, but in the end, to no avail. He was the world champion going into this, ahead of Kamel Kajena. Bakiri had finished 3rd 3 years ago, and he does again here, so it's a reversal of the 1-2 from 2011 as Kamel Kajena steps up and claims his rightful gold medal.
So what a medal ceremony for Algeria. 1, 2, and 3. And this will be a very proud moment when they hear their anthem. All of them on the podium will be able to sing along to this one.
Kajena won the gold at London 2012. This is the exact 1, 2, 3 that we saw in London. So they're all used to this. It's the 3rd time in a row, clean sweep Algeria, and for these 3 athletes. There's already a sports team actually in the UK that sounds a lot like that introduces the football results at 5 o'clock on a Saturday, and the man who's been reading the football results for the last 40 years announced yesterday he was retiring, sadly. A man called James Alexander Gordon, and a piece of music very reminiscent of that.
James Alexander Gordon, phenomenal voice. Manchester United 1, Nottingham Forest 1. The way he would say, you would just know what the next number was coming, because if he went up, the away team had won. If he went down, the home team had won. If he stayed the same, it was a draw.
So Everton 1, Nottingham Forest 0.
Yeah.
Manchester United 0, Arsenal 3. Fantastic. And many other results readers try and mimic him. And the guy who did the TV results for like 30 years retired a couple of years ago as well. Now, there's been a shift at the medal ceremonies, which normally doesn't mean very much, but I know a lot of you staying up in Canada have stayed up especially for this, because it's, what, 6 a.m. in Toronto and probably 3 a.m. in Vancouver. And this is from the first event of the morning, in which there was a lot of North American interest. They swept the medals. So if you've stayed up especially for this, 3 more minutes, then you can sleep.
And if James Alexander Gordon was doing this victory ceremony, he would say, Canada won, USA didn't.
Very good.
Bronze medalist.
Right, we had USA silver and bronze in this, and Cassie Mitchell, well, she finished 3rd in the original final yesterday, which was rerun due to the top 2 crashing with 200 meters to go. So she gets what's coming to her, and that is the bronze medal. Actually, there were 2 very good finals, both yesterday and today. And the first two from yesterday were reversed today. We wish Marieke Vervoort of Belgium the very best. She was the one who was injured in the crash yesterday. Rerun as a result. So Kerry Morgan, winner on Wednesday, silver medal on Thursday. She was the world champion from Christchurch 2 years ago, and she has a silver to add to the collection here. Kerry Morgan was the bronze medalist in the 100 meters last year in London, and in the 2.
And world champion representing Canada.
But the gold medalist in the 200 in London wins here in the 8. Michelle Stilwell, it was a world record, 2 minutes 14.79, and she gets the gold. Well, it was herself and Vervoort who were battling for gold yesterday when they came a cropper, and Vervoort sadly injured. Stilwell was overtaken by Morgan in that pile-up, finished second, but she won today, and tactically it was a superb race. So Michelle Stilwell gets the gold. Oh, Canada.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world champion medalists.
She's not bad, eh? Gold for Canada. Michelle Stilwell.
You have to feel sorry for Kerry Morgan, who last night thought she was a gold medalist, but they took it away from her because of that crash involving Stilwell and the Belgian, who was disqualified. And so Canada have won the gold.
And Vervoort actually denied Stilwell the gold in London, and I think it was the 100 or the 200. There were 1 and 2 in both. Can't remember I think Vervoort won the 100 ahead of Stilwell, and then Stilwell beat Vervoort in the 200. So they know each other. And Stilwell comes away with the glory here. We still have 2 field events which are on. In the 50s, the men's Shot Put F58, women's Javelin 54, 55, 56. And we'll stay with them as long as we can, but there are satellite bookings and so on. I suspect we won't come to the conclusion of this. There's still 6 athletes to throw, and our satellite time ends, I believe, in around 20 minutes or so.
This is Torres Martinez of Colombia, currently in 4th medal position, 14.68. She has thrown just outside the medals at the moment. Let's have another look at that one. Comes down. So it's just the top 5 that are throwing again at the moment, but the top 8 will throw. First to go, Martina Willing has finished now her throws, and her best was 21.17. Then it's the Colombian. So she set an area record so far, 15.59. And they will mark that. Digs in, nothing wrong with that. She's set an area record, she's in 4th. She would need to get another 67 points to get into the medal positions, and she doesn't get that, so that ends her competition. 14.87 that throw, 15.59 her best, and 4th is the highest she will finish. So just 2 of the top 8 have thrown again with their last 3 throws, and at the moment we have Aidi of Tunisia in the lead from Yang of China, Situ of South Africa, Torres Martinez we just saw there, just throwing, then Martina Villing, Bogacheva, Todorova and Machin. I'm going to have a look at a bit of shot put action now as well, also taking place, the men's shot put, F58 final. This is the American, Dennis Ogby, 13.95, his best throw so far. Currently lying in 4th position. At the moment it's Russian gold, Polish silver, Brazilian bronze. And Dennis will have to improve considerably. 13.95, he's thrown 14.65 he would have to get to move up into the medals, and that is foul. Just talking about football scores and how they're read out. I've been messaged by a friend on Facebook to say that the announcer at Upton Park was mentioned by Vassos Alexander on Radio 2 in the sports news this morning. Now, that's me. Apparently, at Upton Park, once I gave some half-time scores, and I gave this one: Sporting 1, Sporting Lisbon 1, Cheating Lisbon 7. Just a little joke, and apparently Vassos read it out this morning. So nice to know, even though I'm in France, I'm getting a mention on British radio. The other one that I did, and I'll come back to that, so there's a big throw there. Dennis Ogby's second throw, can he improve on 13.95? The other one is Real Madrid 1, Surreal Madrid Fish. This is a little bit more obscure.
Well, actually, there's a chap who's become quite famous in the past couple of years for playing a woman on TV, a chap called Brendan O'Carroll, because of a comedy called Mrs. Brown's Boys, but he's also a stand-up comedian and was better known in Ireland for a long time as a stand-up comedian. And one of the only few broadcastable punchlines of his routine was, and now for an unfinished football result. Manchester United 1.
It's very good, Mrs. Brown's Boys. My wife loves it. So Dennis Ogby is ranked 4th, 13.95. His best throw. He's just got 1 throw left to go. One last chance to get in amongst the medals. He's the 7th in the order of the last 8 to throw. So unless he does something drastic here, we know that it will be Russia, Poland, Brazil getting the medals. Dennis put his heart into that one, but was it any better than 13.95? Needs to beat 14.65 to sneak in for a bronze. I don't think he's done that. It's round about 12. And he's getting tired now, so often the earlier throws are the longer ones. So Dennis Ogby will stay in 4th place, and 12.03 was indeed the mark there, and that was his shortest distance. So he will finish 4th. This is how the standings finish, even though the Russian still has 3 throws to go, but he's already won the gold. Alexei Ashapatov, Janis Rakicki getting the silver, Leonardo Amancio of Brazil getting the bronze. This is the rest of the field. And just Shapatov to throw again, 3 more throws to see if he can improve on 15.19. He's already the championship record holder with 16.37, which is also the world record, which he set in Christchurch 2 years ago. Can he improve on that?
A reminder that the World Championships are going every 2 years from now on, since Christchurch last time out, 2011. Next one's in Doha, 2015. And London 2017 European Championships are in Swansea next year. So now everyone's looking forward to.
And Will's been making some stickers with loads of stats and sticking them up on the screen. Any top stats you want to share with us there, Will, or is that for this afternoon's preview?
Always keep something in reserve.
Hold it back. Never give keep your powder dry. Never give it away, because that, at some point this afternoon, he'll use that and it will be killer information. And he knows if he says it now, I will steal it and I will use it. So he's very sensibly well down in keeping that information to himself. Let's go back to the women's javelin. And this is Situ of South Africa, currently in the bronze medal position with a personal best 7:16, 997 points in this mixed category. 54, 55, 56, 17:49 her best throw. That was the second of 3. Aidi of Tunisia leading from Yang of China, Situ of South Africa in 3rd at the moment. That is the leader, 17:71, championship record. Everyone's had 3 throws, the top 8 get another 3.
Now this is Hania Aidi of Tunisia. And they've had a fabulous games in the field as well, actually, Tunisia. I mean, it just goes to show the program that a lot of these nations have when it comes to the Paralympic Games and how seriously they take it, which is just pretty much what you want to see, I think. They've won 8 medals already, 3 of them gold. Actually, no, that's just updated because they've just won another one with Roe Tilly in the Discus. So they've got 10 medals now, 4 gold, 5 silver. Wally Katila's won 2 of those. They've got Abdurrahim Zhu as well in the 800. Really good Paralympic nation. Let's go across to the shot put. That's still on, the F58 men's shot put. And actually, not only is he the leader, he's now the winner because nobody else is throwing in this. So we've got the gold medalist, and it is Alexei Ashapatov. 15:19 his best throw so far. That was his 4th that we have seen. And this started very early this morning. And that is 15:41, so it's a new leading throw. It's a new winning throw for him. The man who's won gold in the last 3 major championships, the Paralympic Games in Beijing and London, the World Championships in Christchurch, and the World Championships in Lyon. Ashapatov has won the gold medal here, Rakitsky the silver, Mancia the bronze. Well, that's a good long one. Well, that's around 14, 15 meters again. Good consistency from him. His shortest throw has been 14:26. He set the world record in winning gold in Christchurch last year. Wasn't quite able to pip that in London, but he won the gold there. (15:21). It's Singer's second longest throw. And just one more throw remaining left in the competition. And we'll have our latest champion. But just as we went to see the gold in the shot put, this is the final round throw of Hania Aidi. And it's gone beyond 15 meters. And it's gone beyond 18 meters. And it's a new world record for Hania Aidi. She has not yet won the gold, but I think probably that's more than good enough. It's a new world record, 18:32, to break the mark of Yang Lyon, and it's only the Chinese athlete who can beat her now, surely. She was the previous world record holder with 17:89, and that's been surpassed by around 40 centimeters by Hania Aidi. And where is she from? Tunisia. Might be on the way to winning a 5th gold medal here. Yang Lyon still has a chance. Her 3 throws to go. And the same story for Zanele Situ, who's been winning medals in this for a long time.
Let's go back to the shot put and just have a look at the winner in action. This is the Russian, Alexei Shaputov. Last man to throw of the top 8. 15:41 his best throw. Well, that's one in the gold. And this is just his last throw of 14:78.
Домой хочу.
No idea what he said in Russian, but seems happy enough. So confirmation that Alexei Shaputov, 15:41, is the gold medalist. Janusz Rokicki of Poland, 14:98, gets the silver, and Leonardo Amancio, with an area record, gets the bronze for Brazil.
So we've seen all the medals decided by one, and I think Aidi's got a great chance unless Yang does something remarkable. And if Yang does overtake her, it would need a world record to do it, so we'll show you that this afternoon. So now let's go to the Shot Put F58, and it was an event from earlier today. An event which wasn't competed for in 2012. They don't actually compete for this terribly often. Championship record as a result goes back to 2006 in Assen in the Netherlands. And this is Michał Glab of Poland, just shy of 10 meters. Gwab, 9:09 was his personal best going into this, which he is now boosted. And so he gets the bronze medal. Silver for Alexis Jose Pais of Venezuela. He too, with a marvelous throw, that's a lifetime best, equally 9:81. Another silver for Venezuela, who have an excellent team here. But they would be bested by another Pole, Tomasz Paulinski. 11:65 was his lifetime best. He was the only man to clear 10 meters in this. And he gets the gold. 11:11. And Poland, top of the pile. So gold for Poland, silver for Venezuela, and bronze for Poland too. Michał Glab, Pais in second, and Paulinski did very well to get the gold medal.
So just the one event continuing now, and that is the women's javelin throw, combined class for F54, 55 and 56. Led by Aidi of Tunisia, Lyon of China, and Situ of South Africa.
We can take a look at the medal standings as well here. We've had gold so far today for Canada, Russia, Iran, Poland, Russia, South Africa and Tunisia. 14th gold medal for Russia, Anna Sorokina in the women's javelin, and Alexei Shaputov in the men's shot put, which actually I reckon hasn't come up yet because they've won 15 now. Great Britain have won 10. They'll be hoping for more. Mickey Bushell looking very good in the 100. United States, 30 medals overall. Brazil continuing to advance.
Let's go back to the javelin, being led by Aidi of Tunisia. This is Daniela Todorova of Bulgaria. Had 3 throws already. She'll now have another 3. No warm-up throws in the second block of 3 throws. And so far, Daniela has thrown 18:30. Her best throw, which was her second throw. This will be her 4th. And after Daniela has thrown, there'll be another 4 to throw. Aidi in the lead has completed her 6 throws. Here she goes then. Throw number 4. Was it better than 18:30? I think it was only around about the 15 mark. So far she's thrown 18:05 and 18:30 and then a no throw. That will not be better than her best. Have to remain seated. So there's two ways of getting across. 16:67. One is to lift your buttock up off the seat, and the other is that you don't make a mark with the javelin. Measure that one. That does look like a better one. So Martina Willing through first. She's confirmed she'll get no higher than 5th. Next up was Torres Martinez of Colombia, who's 4th at the moment. This is Todorova, currently ranked 7th. She's thrown 16:67, 17:72. And so far she's been unable to better her second throw of 18:30. Yang of China will be the last to throw, and she's the one with the best chance of catching Aidi. 17:42 Todorova, so she was fairly consistent towards the end, but she couldn't match her best throw early on.
So this, the latest situation, but Yang still has throws to go, and that will be in around 4 throwers' time, which probably be in around half an hour, by which stage we will be off air. But if Yang does take the gold, it would need a world record to do it, and we will have an opportunity to show you that in the afternoon session. It's regular medalists, actually, who are in the top 3. Sanele Situ lies 3rd for South Africa, has been winning medals in this for quite a while. It's an event in which they've been out for almost 3 hours now. Sanele Situ won gold in Athens in 2004. And if you're watching in various parts of the world, and either you're getting up or you're going to bed, well, let's take a look at other nations that are performing well here in Lyon. So midway through day 6. And day 9, by the way, we're not due to be bringing you live because that's marathons. And basically, the cost of doing that would almost double what the costings would be for the rest of the entire week. Tends to be the way. I'm just using Monolith outside broadcast units for that. Russia, top of the pile. The 15th one has not registered yet. They've won 2 this morning. Sorokina in the women's javelin and Ashabadov in the shot put. Brazil, I expect to see a lot of them in the sprints tonight. Germany also going brilliantly in the field events. They won 20 medals, and a 1/3 of those in the field. Poland also boosting their tally, thanks to Tomasz Paulinski. Further down, Iran claiming another gold. Naziri Bazanjani in the men's 1500 meters. And they'll have chances to boost that later on today. So that's it for the morning session. We will be back in around 3 hours' time for the afternoon session, day 6 of Lyon 2013. Until then, au revoir.
See you then.
olha, Delos, eu, tu e o Marcinho temos que estar um quarto ou 10 minutos antes das duas nas câmaras para gravar a corrida dos jornalistas. Hoje não há domingo para ninguém, comigo. É só eu, o Delos e o Marcinho, temos que gravar uma corrida para eventos jornalistas. Sim, ouviste? É? Não, às duas. Temos de estar para aí um quarto de hora antes. Esquece o soninho hoje. Uma prova de 400 tipo estafetas, jornalistas. 400 vezes 4. A corrida é às duas. Às duas é para estar nas câmaras, às 10 para as 2. Eu não posso, vai. Vou eu e o Jorge. O Jorge também ainda está na câmara. Deve sempre para aí 40 vezes mais de câmaras. E 2 regis já. É capaz. Por isso é que o gajo estava ontem a falar que eles tinham que se habituar ao calor porque o próximo é lá no Dubai, é lá no Indoor. É fechado, é ar-condicionado. Não sei, não conheço, nunca estive lá no Dubai. Não, nunca.
Qui a pris la tête avec un nouveau record des championnats, 39 mètres 23. Il y a deux catégories dans cette finale. Le classement s'effectue donc au point par rapport à une table de cotation. Qui vous fait en tête avec 61 points devant le italien leader
J'ai beau m'excuser.
No está.
Vai comer, ainda faltam 5. Estás a ouvir? Vai ter com eles. Vai ter com eles porque ainda faltam 5 gajos a passar. Isto vai demorar bué ainda.
Assurance présentant au lancer du javelot, catégorie F54 pour la Sud-Sud. Elle tombe d'année Titu, elle a établi son record personnel lors de ses 3 premiers jets avec 17 mètres 16, 997 points. Elle est actuellement 3e de la finale. Actuellement sur l'écran géant les résultats du lancer du javelot avec 54, 55, 56. Il reste 2 athlètes qui doivent effectuer leurs 3 derniers jets. La première de ce concours pour l'instant, la tunisienne Ania Haïti. Son nom est suivi de WR pour nouveau record du monde. Et la sud-africaine Anthony Daniele qui se prépare pour ses 3 derniers jets. Et suivi de PD pour personal best record personnel. La colombienne Yasmine Torres Martinez est 4e du concours, suivi de AR Area Record, c'est-à-dire que c'est un record continental pour la Colombie.